Good morning. This is Dr. Michael Datcher, and today we are happy to say welcome to the 445 Productive Through Joy show. This show airs each weekday morning, hella early AF at 4:45 a.m. here on YouTube's Michael Datcher channel, then 4:45 p.m. on Facebook Live. Today we're talking about trust. Whoa, super important topic. Trust in its relationship to productivity. If you're new to the show, you can go to productivethroughjoy.com to see about us. We speak to groups, schools, and organizations about being productive through joy. We have a really innovative narrative-based process, which is very powerful. You can also simply become a subscriber here by hitting that subscriber button, and get all these videos for free. I did say free, 1, 2, 3, 4, free. And holler at us and we'll holler back. I should say a few words about myself for those of you who are new. This is your host and your boy, Dr. Michael Datcher, author of the New York Times bestseller Raising Fences, which was a Today Show Book of the Month pick. Also the author of the new historical novel America, set 13 miles from Ferguson. A very powerful book. Author of the brand new Animating Black and Brown Liberation, A Theory of American Literature, which just came out in April. The book interrogates the intersection of race and violence in America. I'm also the board president of the World Stage, a great 501c3 nonprofit. My educational here in Los Angeles, my educational background is UC Berkeley as an undergrad, my master's from UCLA, and my PhD in English literature from the University of California at Riverside. I'm an expert at being productive, right? I don't say all these things to brag or boast, but people are oftentimes surprised at my level of productivity when they hear about my background. I am the product of a young girl who was violated at age 16 in a very difficult story, gave birth to me at 17, and subsequently gave me up for adoption to a single divorcee. Yet at the time, no biological father, no adopted father. Difficult times for the young MD. Yet as Cool Modi famously said, you like me now. If I can be this productive and be so through joy, so can many of us who are watching the show. So thanks for being here. Let's dive into the topic. Today we're talking about trust and its relationship to productivity. And so point one is that we want to be able to deal with our trust issues. You know, I just watched this Dennis Rodman 30 for 30 ESPN documentary last night. And sports fans know a lot about Rodman, but maybe didn't know as many things about Rodman as we learned last night. He was the great rebounding phenom who played for Detroit and played for the Pistons and played for Chicago and won titles in both of those, and was critical of winning those titles in both of those towns. Probably one of the greatest defensive players ever. But just this doc about his life was very disturbing, and you see how his childhood issues, followed him into his adulthood, and the impact of those things. And it reminded me of the thing that I know to be true for many of us, including me, is that many of us are adults walking around, we're like adult adolescents walking around with all this pain from our childhood. I mean, just his children spoke, and just the impact of his crazy on them. I mean, and I was reminded about childhood and why it's so important that we protect our kids during childhood. So, oh my goodness, and love them and hug them and affirm them. It's so important, because those formative years, they really stay with you. They really do. And so for many of us, because there was just trauma during our childhood, it really made us have a lot of trust issues. Like that's such a common thing, having trust issues. So we have to find a way to deal with it, which goes right into point two. How do you deal with that? Those things are, if we are full-fledged adults, as the folks who are watching the show probably are now, we're grown and we know how it is, and we've allowed those experiences to in many ways define our adult life, and not to in any way give someone a pass for violating us, or giving someone for not calling them to the carpet for doing what they did. But we have to also move forward in our own lives and do what we need to do to take care of our own kids and handle business. So you want to be able to, if you know this show, we talk a great deal about building your internal infrastructure, meditating, yoga. We help individuals and groups kind of think through that, what they can do to to work on that particular aspect of their life and make that a lifestyle, which goes right into point three. And point three is you want to think about the idea that if you can begin to trust yourself, trust your own process, trust your gut, and then begin to align yourself with people who actually are trustworthy, who you can actually trust, you can begin to have a much heightened level of productivity. At the end of the Dennis Rodman interview documentary, he was just kind of commenting on that. He's one of the 10, because you may know he also went to North Korea as part of his crazy. He dated Madonna. He was had #1 New York Times best-selling book. I mean, Dennis Rodman was a huge celebrity, as he said in the documentary. I was bigger than Michael Jordan for 3 years. I mean, it was amazing. And so, as the documentary came to an end, he was speaking about the fact that he is one of the 10 most recognizable people in the world, which is extraordinary. Think about that, That's like fame, right? People want fame. He got fame. And then he began to cry because he said, that should make someone happy. And he had achieved this pinnacle of fame and success, but he was so unhappy with his life, right? It's depressing to have that type of money and fame, and then inside of himself to be that unhappy. So when you can surround yourself with people who you can trust, it's an extraordinary way to create just a spirit of love and joy, because you can let your guard down. You can be with people in your life in a way that is meaningful, and that is going to lead to a happier person. And trust me, a happier person is going to lead to a more productive person. Boom goes the dynamite. Thanks for being here, guys. We'll see you this afternoon at 4:45 p.m. As we air each weekday morning at 4:45 a.m. and 4:45 p.m. And the 4:45 p.m. show, of course, is on Facebook Live. Thanks for being here. We'll see you this afternoon. Until then, let's talk about it and be about it. Deuces.